Welcome back. Today I'm going to take you through a fun but also very realistic weekend in my life. I'm getting over a cold, that's why my voice sounds like that. I made myself a latte. It's 4 p.m. on a Friday and I'm just going to finish up some notes and admin work from the week. I was a little sick, so all my notes kind of went to the back burner, so I'm going to finish up that probably for another hour and a half. And then I'm going to go to the bookstore with my bestie, have a little cozy girls night. Tomorrow, I am actually seeing 2 houses because I'm currently on the house hunt, so that'll be fun. I'm gonna take you along, and yeah, let's get it. Ah, heaven. This is really cute. Or I like this book too, this series. These are gorgeous. This was the book that got me into reading Hunger Games, so I kind of want the special edition. We are in our homeland. Valentine's Day! Woohoo! We found it. All by ourselves. It came out early. This was supposed to be released on the 18th, and we found it in Barnes & Noble, and it's the 7th.
Next line and go in the store, and this man that works there, picture an old.
It's Saturday. I made my breakfast. I had such a lovely little girls' wine night last night with Alexa. We went to Barnes & Noble, which you saw, so much fun, literally our mothership. And then we made cookies, brownies, had some wine, and we just yapped. We yapped for 6 hours, but I have a great story I want to tell you. I got this book, Rebel Witch, at Barnes & Noble, and let me explain to you why this is such a big deal. So the first book in this series is called Heartless Hunter. I think I read it back in September, but I immediately told Alexa, you need to read this. The ending was really original. I did not expect it. I could not have guessed it. So she reads the book, she gobbles it up. We can't wait. We can't wait for the next book to come out. Right now it is February 8th. So yesterday was February 7th, okay? This book is not supposed to come out until February 18th. We're looking for Red Rising. We're looking for a book that I wanted, but I ended up not finding it. And just randomly in the middle of the books, on a table, was Rebel Witch. Look at the freaking cover of this book. Are you kidding me right now? It's gorgeous. It comes with a playlist. No Time to Die, Over You, Hurts Like Hell, Whiskey Lullabies, Tomorrow We Fight, Sound of War, Tick Tick Boom. All right, this is gonna be crazy. So yeah, I'm just gonna have my breakfast. I'm gonna start reading Rebel Witch. I had a very slow morning. I don't get sick often, but when I do, it's usually a sign that I need to slow down and reflect and do some inner work. I never get sick unless it's usually paired with some internal spiritual, energetic lesson. So I'm trying to listen to my body, rest a little bit, and be a little more reflective, be less on social media and more just like in my body and in my mind. So I'm gonna have a relaxing morning, and then I'm gonna go tour a few houses. I probably won't film it because it's like people's homes. Then I'm gonna have a really cozy, chill evening with my fiance, and I'll take you guys along.
Look at Captain.
It is now Wednesday. I feel like I just exited a literal hibernation. Let's recap a little bit. So, weekend in my life did not go as planned. I got more sick than I was giving myself credit for. I wasn't really getting over a cold, I was getting the cold. So, on Saturday, I saw those houses. They were fine, definitely not our house. And then I spent the entire rest of the weekend, all of Saturday, all of Sunday, resting on the couch and watching My Life with the Walter Boys. I completely binged it. God bless my fiance for watching all of that with me. And then Monday and Tuesday I spent those 2 days just resting and working as much as I could in between, you know, getting over a cold. And now it's Wednesday. It is the full moon in Leo, and I woke up feeling so inspired. I woke up feeling so much better, so much more energized. And I thought, you know what, let's not scratch the video. Let's pick it back up, and instead of it being a weekend, it's gonna be a few days, a week, in my life as a holistic wellness counselor, as a woman in her 20s, going after her goals and juggling a lot, and also managing burnout. I think a reason why I got sick was because I didn't realize I was burning out, but I did. And here is what I realized. The intention behind what you're doing is going to be the output that you get. So I had a little bit of doubt, a little bit of fear creep in the last few weeks, and I was working, I was doing the things that were still aligned, they were still great things to do, but I was doing it with a twinge of fear, a twinge of, is this gonna work, or should I be working harder, XYZ? And that energy led to that burnout and to that crash. And as I was resting these last few days, I was also reflecting. I was like, why did I get sick? What's going on? And that's what has really come up, was there was just a lot of fear underneath the surface that was causing me to act from a place that wasn't aligned. And so now I am ready to take on the rest of the week with inspired, aligned action from a place of flow and joy and trust and surrender. So what's on the docket for the rest of the week? Well, today I have a few clients, and then tomorrow I have a little bit of a slower day. So that's when I want to start tackling bigger projects that I have, but just creative projects, creative things that I feel like will really help people and serve this community and serve women in their 20s, serve people with anxiety. So I have a lot of stuff that I'm creating that I'll probably spend tomorrow doing. And then Friday, I have clients. I'm going to the ranch, and I also have an exam for grad school. And then Saturday, I have a client at the ranch, and then I'm having a little like book club moment with my friends. So that'll be a fun thing to take you along with. And also sprinkled in there are the lessons that I learned along the way. You know, I consider myself very ambitious, also someone who tends to be more anxious, right? I healed the bulk of my anxiety, but those anxious tendencies, those fears and those doubts definitely still creep in. And so kind of showing you guys how I navigate that. For example, my perfectionist self was not happy to take those days off and to rest and to not go to the gym and to not kind of like work as hard and to sleep more. But I knew that I needed to rest in order to be better. If I tried to power through it, I'd probably still be sick right now. And so it's little things like that that make you realize how far you've come. If I had that inkling to kind of push through it, but then the stronger voice was the more aligned voice that was like, no girl, absolutely rest. And that is the self-development journey. It is working to ensure that your most aligned voice is the one that is the loudest. And so it's like decreasing the volume of your fearful voice or your anxious voice, and then increasing the volume of your most aligned voice so that you can take action from that place of alignment instead of distrust. Cheers. finished a very long day on the computer. I saw a few virtual clients, then I did some admin work, some brainstorming, and now I'm gonna get my bag and head out the door to see some in-person clients. I don't know why this always happens. It's almost 3 p.m. I'm getting that 3 p.m. slump, but I cannot have more coffee because I've had so much today already, and I know that that's not good for my anxiety, so I will power through the afternoon slump. That's just part one. Putting candy in an old pasta jar. Not the most fancy, but my fiance and I are having a low-key Valentine's Day, so I thought I can give him a little jar of his favorite candies so he can keep it in his car because it's cold enough it won't melt, and he can have it throughout the day, snack on it. And then I have some other fun things planned, but I'll probably end up putting that together tomorrow. Hello, I'm winding down the night reading Rebel Witch, and I also have some peppermint tea. This is such a vibe. I'm so excited. I had a very long day, and yeah, I'll be doing this until I go to sleep, except I'll probably add an ice cream or some sweet treat in there as well. But this book is getting good. I'm only like 30-ish pages in, but I love this author and how she just gets right into the action. Like the first book started and it got right into this like really intense scene. Same thing, we just start and she gives us the information we need to know as we need to know it. Not like an info dump in the beginning, she just gives us the action. So very enthralled in this one, and I'll probably get a good chunk of it done, and yeah. Hello my beautiful friends, it's a few days later, it is back to Saturday, and I finished all my clients for the week. I caught up on all of the work that I needed to get done, and I decided that I would close out this video with a little chit chat, paint your nails with me, because they need some tender love and care, and I also need some good TLC, some me time, some self-love. So that's what we're gonna be doing, and I have a lot of thoughts that have come up this week since I've gotten sick, and I kind of had that cognitive dissonance and push and pull of like wanting to be productive and get things done, and also like leaning into rest, preventing burnout, all that good stuff. So I have lots of thoughts. I have some notes of things I want to talk about, and I thought that we could just paint our nails and see where this day goes. So I'm just gonna start with filing them down. This side is rougher, and then this side is not as rough, so I'm gonna like get the bulk of my nail down with this side, switch to this side, buff them out, and then I'll pick a color. Alrighty, so I buffed my nails, and now the fun part is picking out the color. I have a little like at-home gel nail polish kit from this brand. It was a Christmas gift from my dad. It's very nice. So what is it? 3 is the base coat. Let me see. 2 are the color options. Get all those out. 1 is the top coat. Let's see what we're working with. I don't have too many shades. Well, I have a decent amount. These are all the color options that I have. And let me see. This one's my absolute favorite color. And then a close second is like this light pink as well. I'm a big like light pink person. You can't really tell with the lighting. But then we also have a really beautiful red. You see? Yeah, super pretty. So, I don't know, there's also like maroon. Actually, I'm feeling bold. Let's go with a red. Yes, that's a good idea. I'm excited about this. And then we can get started talking and chit-chatting. Sip of my coffee. So the first thing I kind of wanted to talk about is this Abraham Hicks quote that I have been talking to like all of my clients about. It has just come up in like almost every session this week. It was like the theme of the week. And I often see that in my practice where people will have like their own individual problems, but then there's like this common theme, like collectively. And, you know, I do see a lot of the same population. So a lot of women, teenagers in their 20s and their 30s suffering with like anxiety. They're also like really ambitious. So it's not like uncommon that this population would have like the same problems. Most women in their 20s are gonna feel maybe a little bit anxious when it comes to their career and stuff like that. And so that's not really the surprising part, but it's very interesting how like the same themes pop up amongst like different problems. So like maybe it's career, maybe it's relationship, maybe it's like stuff at home, and yet the same idea comes up. So this week, the theme was neediness, completeness, how to attract the life that you desire, how to attract the relationships, the career, the people, your tribe that really is in alignment with you. And so I was sharing with these people the quote from Abraham Hicks, in your neediness, you repel, and in your completeness, you attract. And it brought a lot up in regards to where they feel like they are in like a desperate energy. And when you are in this desperate energy, in this state of wanting, then you are technically in a state energetically of repelling that what you want, because wanting perpetuates a state of wanting, right? Like if I want food, that means I'm hungry. And that sense of hunger, like I'm starving, I really want food, like I'm desperate for it, that is like what we are trying to avoid. Because if I was full, if I was satiated and I didn't want food, then I wouldn't be feeling that intense desire to be hungry. So in our neediness, we repel. Wanting perpetuates a state of wanting. And then in our completeness, we attract. But then it also creates this problem of like, well, how do we get to a sense of completeness when we don't have what we desire, right? And that's a very real and valid question of like, okay, that's great. I want to feel in a place of completeness and wholeness. And that sounds wonderful. Like Danielle, I would love to get there, but like how? How do I get there if I don't have what I want yet? If I don't have that person, that job, that career, that financial stability, that opportunity, whatever it may be. And what we've been working on is this idea of detachment. So how can I be detached from the outcome while I continue to chase my dreams and chase what I desire? How can my happiness and internal satisfaction be derived from other things that I already have in my life and not this thing that I want? Obviously, when it comes to things like your basic necessities, this can be a little bit challenging, but everything we were working on, like their basic needs were already met. You know, maybe they weren't in the best financial situation that they wanted to be in, but for the most part, all of their basic needs were met. These were additional things that were still very valuable and important to create and, you know, discuss in therapy. And so, with that said, we started to brainstorm ways and areas in their life that they already feel a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction in. And the idea was that if we can do a pattern interrupt, so like whenever we feel this neediness come up, this desperate energy, this lack, can we switch the neural pathway in our brain and instead think about the areas of our life that we derive a lot of satisfaction and fulfillment in, where we feel like we lack nothing. We already have everything we want in that area of life. For some people, this was easier to find than others, but I encourage you to ask yourself that same question of like, where in my life do I feel this lack, desperate energy, and where I'm feeling kind of like stuck in that, because in your neediness you repel. So I'm taking a gamble, I'm taking a guess that if you feel this lack energy and this need for something, you've been having a hard time attracting it. And so I also then pose that second question of what areas in your life do you feel super fulfilled and satisfied by. And if you can't find something that you feel super fulfilled and satisfied in, then maybe something that's just kind of like consistent and stable. It's always there. Like for example, maybe you don't love your living situation, but like you have a roof over your head and like that's not going to change. Like that feels really stable even if it's not like the most ideal situation. That is what I want you to focus on whenever you feel that neediness come up. Why I say that is because when you do focus on the areas where you feel that satisfaction and stability, it switches your actual energy fields and your vibration. So you're going from an energy of incompleteness, lack, things that bring up a lot of instability, concern, and just desperation, wanting energy. You take that vibration and you shift it into one of completeness. The reason why I bring that up is because when you change your energy from a state of wanting to a state of already having, even if it's not of that same goal, just you're shifting your energy from like, I really want this job to I have a roof over my head, or I really want this partner, but I have this really amazing relationship with my sister or my mom or whoever it may be. When you shift your energy from a state of wanting to already having, you are literally changing your energy field. And the vibration of your energy field determines what you attract. And so if you want something, you need to be in the energy of having, because that will just perpetuate more having and obtaining of things that are in alignment with you. And that is the key right here. Things that are already in alignment with you or are in alignment with your highest self are in alignment with what you're currently vibrating at. So we want to get you into vibrational alignment with your highest self, with your highest path, so that you just naturally start to attract opportunities, people, experiences that are a vibrational match for your highest good. And when you switch your mindset to your highest good instead of like this thing, you are opening up more opportunities, right? And you may be attracting something that is like better than your wildest dreams, something that you couldn't have even pictured or dreamt of because you didn't even know that that was what you wanted or that's what you needed. You are more likely to attract better opportunities than what you expected or what you want when you learn how to vibrate in the frequency of your highest good. So that was the theme of this week that I really wanted to touch upon and bring forth in this video because I thought it was really important. It also was really relevant because when I was sick, I think that I got sick for maybe a few reasons, but one of the reasons was that I was not in the state of having. I was in the state of wanting. I was definitely in my neediness and I was repelling. And when I was sick, I kind of just surrendered to the moment and I was like, if I have my health, that I have everything. So I was like, let's just rest so that I can increase my health and then I can go do all the things I wanted to do. And it was in that completeness, in that like, I'm resting. Like there's nothing I need to do today. Like I've completed my to-do list. My to-do list is to rest and heal. That energy brought me so much peace. And then it made me realize like, oh wow, I was super in the wanting energy. And that brought me back into the present, into the having, into the, and it's not even just being grateful, because I feel like gratitude journaling or just like being grateful for things has been kind of like overused and underexplained. That's what I was trying to say. It's underexplained, gratitude, right? Because it's not just like being grateful for something because it's good. I mean, yes, it's good to be grateful for things, but it's also when you are genuinely grateful for something, you are in the energy of having. You're in the energy of receiving. You're in the energy of love and joy. And what you're doing is you're raising your vibrational frequency. And so by shifting your energy to one of having, or even just one of like presence and acceptance. Like you don't need to be super happy and grateful if you can't get there, right? Like don't force yourself to feel emotions that just aren't organic in the moment, but can you find a level of acceptance? And if that's all you can do, then that's beautiful. And so that was a theme that came up in my personal life. And then I noticed it coming up in all my clients' lives. So I figured let's bring it to YouTube and see if anyone else is feeling that same way, feeling like, I needed to hear that. That was definitely something that I needed. So I hope that that inspired you or got your like wheels turning in your brain a little bit. And that also kind of brings me like to the second thing I wanted to talk about. And that was the like misexplanation of and misrepresentation of manifestation, right? Because like I was saying, like when you want something, when you want to attract something, you need to be vibrating at that frequency. And there's like 110 ways that people say is like the best way or the fastest way to get there. And, you know, I disagree with a lot of them. And I think the missing key here is the identity work and the root cause of the block, right? So if you want something, let's change that word. If you desire something and you are vibrating at the frequency of your highest good in your alignment, quantum mechanics would dictate that give it some divine timing and you will obtain that desire if it is actually in alignment with your highest good. And if it's not in alignment with your highest good, then you'll just attract something even better, something that you couldn't actually kind of like pinpoint in that present moment. All of that to say, you need to discover any like root cause blocks to actually being in that energy of your highest self, right? Because that should be the most natural thing in the world. And if it's not about trying to get to your higher self. It's actually about removing the blocks that are there preventing you from just elevating naturally and rising your frequency naturally. Second point to that, when we do identity work and we really analyze and get introspective and activate our intuition about who our highest self really is, what they do, who they hang out with, their hobbies, their mindsets, their perceptions, their morning routine, their night routine, the way they talk to themselves, if they live in a big city or like the rural countryside. Like when we get really clear on who our highest self is, that is the identity piece that we want to align with. Then it's about how do I become her in the everyday moment or as close to her as possible so that the energy of my highest good naturally arises to the surface. So it's like a two-part game, okay? It's releasing the blocks and aligning your identity. And then what you desire, if it's in alignment with you, will naturally be attracted into your field. What I've been doing recently is I haven't been like manifesting, right? I've been doing all that identity work and I've been a little less picky about my goals because I know, like, you know, man plans, God laughs. I may say like I want this and do all the material things to get there, and then last minute curveball happens and it doesn't work out, but something better works out. And I'm like, you know what? I need to be a little more lenient, a little more accepting of just what's in the flow. So my goal really for 2025 is to continuously do the inner identity work and then take aligned action when I feel inspired and allow divine timing to also have a role in what I get and when I get it. Because honestly, I spent 2024 like fighting the universe for the things that I wanted, and I was exhausted and I constantly felt poorly about myself. So this year I'm like, all right, I'm gonna actually take the advice that I give my clients and I am going to completely surrender to the flow. Surrender doesn't mean that I don't act. Acceptance doesn't mean that you don't act and you take action, you don't work hard. Like, I work hard, right? Not even hard, but like, I do the work. I do the physical work in the physical reality, but what I take away from it is the attachment to the work. I'm not like, I'm doing this so I expect an outcome. It's more of like, I am doing this action and I'm being disciplined in waking up, meditating, going to the gym, sitting down and being creative. You know, these things that are going to get me to my goals, I'm doing it because it feels aligned. It's inspired action. It's aligned action. I don't always feel motivated to do those actions, but they do feel aligned. They do feel inspired. And so I'm going to enact discipline instead of motivation and actually get those things done. When I don't feel like the action is inspired and I feel like I'm just acting because I really want something, that's when I take a step back. Okay, last set of nails. I was like not being able to focus on that. So I know that was a ramble, but ultimately, this is all the stuff that came up this week after I got sick in my sessions with my clients. And I think it's really funny because Wednesday was the full moon in Leo, and that I'm not an astrologer, so take this with a grain of salt, but from what I've read, from what I've seen, from what I've heard from other people who kind of like study astrology and the stars, I got the understanding that this full moon is really going to bring up and illuminate the ways that we were self-sabotaging and illuminating the things that were kind of like getting us stuck and in the way from really being in alignment. So I do think that energetically speaking, there was a lot of stuff coming up in the collective. And I think what was being illuminated were ways that we were being in our neediness and not our completeness. And so if you have anything in your own life that you are wanting to attract or manifest or call in, or just even if it's like an emotion, like you just want to bring in more peace and happiness and stillness into your life, I encourage you to kind of go through the steps that I just said. Be introspective, journal, reflect on the ways that you are actually keeping yourself stuck, and then who your highest self is, how you can align with that version of yourself, and how to get that answer of like, how do I align with that version of myself? It's really about like getting really clear about what that version of yourself does on a day-to-day basis, how they feel, who they talk to, what they do, and then you start doing as many of those things as possible in this present moment. That is a really good way to kind of like jumpstart this year. I know we're already like mid-February, but I don't think the year starts till spring. I don't know why, I've always been like that, but I feel like January and February are like trial months to the year. Coming out of the holidays and then barreling into a new year, I feel like you do need time to rest and reflect that like November and December just don't give you, because there's just so much going on and you're still like completing cycles and completing a year. So I would use the rest of February to get really introspective, get really clear on these things, your goals, how you can accomplish them from an energetic way, and like releasing those blocks to just natural alignment and evolution, and then jumpstart your game plans in the spring, because that's what I'm planning on doing and that's what has worked for me in the past. But okay, my nails are done. These are what they look like. They're okay. Not my finest work, but I've also never tried to speak and do my nails at the same time. Usually I'm watching YouTube videos when I do my nails. But that is gonna wrap up the end of this video. Thank you so much for spending a week with me, a week that was a little chaotic, but ultimately really fun and grounding and had a lot of lessons in it. I'm a holistic wellness counselor. I also just love YouTube and communicating and sharing and making videos. And so my goal is to make videos that help you heal your mental health and align with your highest self in a really grounded way. I want to ground the woo-woo and the spiritual into the material world, into the physical world, help you learn tangible tools to actually go after it, achieve your goals, achieve balance, and achieve like emotional regulation and just peace in your everyday life. So I hope this video brought you some joy, some inspiration, some nuggets of wisdom. And if you liked this video, do all those YouTube things, subscribe, like, comment what you took away from this video, anything that inspired you, and share this with someone you feel like would resonate with the content and be inspired by it as well. And with that said, thank you so much. I will see you in the next video. Bye!